Miruna, thanks for taking the time to be with us today and share your experience with Hellohire. Really appreciate it.
Really excited to talk about this.
Awesome. So, Miruna, can you start by stating your name, your company, your role, and how long you've been using Hellohire for?
My name is Miruna Mariniuc. I'm the talent acquisition specialist at Home Care Assistance of Barrie, Simcoe County. And I believe we've been using Hellohire for about 4 to 5 months, almost six, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been a great time.
Amazing. So, what interested you in a solution like Hellohire?
I'd say the most time-consuming part of recruiting, and every recruiter knows this, is going through resumes, combing through resumes, calling candidates that have the information you need on the resume and then having to, decline them anyway. So I would say just the time saving aspect of HelloHire really was very interesting to us because, instead of spending an hour resumes and only getting through a stack of like 20 or 30, then I could be talking to 6 to 10 people in that hour instead that have already passed pre-screens, have already passed kind of the initial criteria that we need. So yeah, that was the most important factor that kind of got us interested in this.
Okay, amazing. What are your metrics for success and what KPIs do you track in your job that are really important?
I'd say in healthcare, especially for a healthcare agency, it's kind of hard to use KPIs that have the same value every month because our business changes week by week. We get more clients week by week. Some weeks are lighter, some are heavier. So I would say the most important KPI that I use personally is, are we filling the shifts that we need to fill? Do we have enough caregivers to meet the demand that we have? It's not a very specific KPI. I wouldn't say it's like, I'm used for interviews or anything like that. It's just more so, do we have the people that we need? And if we don't, how fast can we get bulk hiring done?
Right. So again, I think it sounds like are you are you able to fill your shifts? Do you have a percentage of like do you track, okay, well this week we were able to fill 90% of shifts, last week was 85, this week was 100. Is that a metric that is tracked internally?
I would say not like in a report sense, just more so because we're a small company. There's five of us
Right,
here. It's more so
right.
when we have our weekly sit down. Oh, I had a lot of shifts at this particular facility, or I had a lot of shifts with this client. We really need someone to get in there. And then I can be like, okay, great, no worries. Or you know what? This is going to take some time because it's a very specific client and specific needs. Yeah, it's something that we don't really track like on a week by week basis, but it's something we talk about on a, say daily basis.
Okay, no, it makes a lot of sense. How was the onboarding process with Hellohire? Was it easier or harder than you expected? And, was it easy to get any help that you needed?
I think it was super easy. I think I sat down with you and Jess for I think one or two sessions. And honestly, it was pretty straightforward. The actual getting the software kind of set up, the account set up was a breeze. And then if I had any issues or any concerns about how it's, working alongside a Jazz HR, you guys were really responsive. And even now, when I have like little things that I need help with, Jess's responds within 20 minutes.
Amazing. How have your applicants responded to the introduction of Hellohire?
So our applicants, I wouldn't say they had a huge, what's the word, reaction, but I've noticed that they really do appreciate the immediate responses. Once they apply, they kind of get feedback right away. Once they fill out the pre-screen questionnaire, if they're successful, they move forward. If they're not, they know not to waste their time waiting for a response. So I think it kind of helped applicants that oh, needed kind of guidance with applications. They are aware that, oh, you know what, I don't meet the criteria right now, but maybe if I get my CPR certificate or if I get additional education, I can reapply and I'll get more feedback in real time. they're able to kind of schedule an interview or a pre-screen with me right away versus having to wait for me to see the resume, which could take a week or two.
True. True. Have you noticed differences in the kinds of caregivers you're able to hire now that you're using Hellohire?
A lot of the caregivers that we've been hiring since implementing Hellohire have kind of turned into very tech savvy caregivers, which is great because we do use, technology to complete documentation and do scheduling, and they have their own app they have to use. And if they're able to kind of get through the very easy Hellohire process, like technologically, they're more likely to be able to use the app, which again is very easy to use, but a lot of times people are very scared by it. So if they have kind of some sort of experience during the onboarding process and the hiring process with technology, kind of easier to get them to use it. They're actually out in the field.
That's a good point. Never thought of it that way. What does your day-to-day use of Hellohire look like?
Oh, every, I would say, week, I kind of go through, refresh job postings, and then I go into Hellohire and make sure that all the job postings that are in Jazz HR and all the jobs that are in Hellohire are accurate and all the questionnaires and all that is, up to date. Then I kind of just wait for people to schedule them. If I have, 5 to 6 sessions scheduled in a day, I go through the schedule. I kind of talk to all the candidates that are scheduled for me. And then at the end of the day, the ones that move forward, they get sent an in-person meeting notification. They select that date, and then I can go through and make sure that it works with my schedule and everything looks good. And on to the next day. And again, same thing, kind of just make sure everything is working correctly, syncing correctly, go through all the applicants that I've talked to, and then sure that my scheduling is accurate and up to date.
Awesome. And what features of the platform do you use most frequently, would you say?
Say the scheduling in-person interviews has saved me a ton of time personally. It's what I use most frequently. You can usually tell right away during the initial conversation if you're going to be moving forward with a candidate. And if I am, then I don't need to waste that time calling them back 2 days later saying, oh, would you like to come in for an interview? And then set it up on my end. It's set up for me. I don't need to do any of that. They can select a time that works for them. We're not doing that back and forth of, oh, does Tuesday work? Does Monday work? That's probably the most useful. And then also the automated rejection emails, again, can kind of tailor it to each job, which is great because, rejections are just because you don't have a vehicle or you don't have the exact specific type of experience we're looking for. Or sometimes it's just that they don't have a CPR certificate. Great to be able to tailor that.
Amazing. And looking back now, through your time with Hellohire, what are the results that you've seen by using Hellohire?
I think let's say the results are more caregivers that, meet that criteria that you don't even think about, like the tech savvy part. And then also just they're engaged. So they're more likely to send me their documents. And the results are really just people that are engaged and excited to start working with you because the process started right away. They're able to follow through right away. On that, it's also just saved me a ton of time with admin tasks and, looking through resumes. That's the most tedious part of the job. And I don't have to do that anymore, which is great.
I love it. What surprised you the most about using Hellohire? So, from before to after, like what surprised you the most?
Honestly, what surprised me the most was the fact that candidates were so willing to use the platform. I don't know how that sounds, but I mean it in the sense that I'm looking at myself as a job seeker. Always like, oh, I have to go into another website, do another application, but this isn't really that, right? It's automatic and it's say targeted as, oh, this is you be able to directly schedule an interview with this person. So to me, the surprise was, oh, you know what? Maybe this is marketed correctly and it is more user friendly and people are more engaged with it rather than, oh, now I have to apply again. because it's not really another application. It's just, do you fit the criteria? And it gives them, real-time feedback and engagement.
Amazing. What's next for your use of Hellohire? Do you have thoughts around what you'd like to see more of, or, new features? Are there new features that are there that you haven't used yet that you want to implement? So yeah, what does the future of Hellohire look like for you?
I actually am wondering, really, what are you guys thinking of next? Because I'm happy with the features that are currently implemented. I saw the new AI resume that you guys implemented. That's awesome. So really, it's just not to turn it back on you, but what are you guys looking to implement?
We just want to keep innovating for the industry, to be honest. And, a lot of users like you have showed us what's important, what we need to do more of. Like, for example, the second round interview, we just launched the ability to connect the first round to the second round. Have you seen that yet, by any chance?
I haven't really played around with it too much, but I've seen it, which is cool.
If you like the second round feature, you're going to love this even more, because what it will do is, after the first round, right now you say yes and it sends them the email with the link. But what if they, don't click on it, they forget? We don't do anything there. So now what happens is you connect the first round to the second round, and we'll do the same thing. We'll send them a text message and an email on, immediately. Then 24 hours later, if they haven't done it, we'll remind them again. And and so it adds more engagement and follow up for the second round interview. And so actually, it's something you'll love, given that, the second round interview is so important. This will get even more automated for you there.
That's awesome.
And what would you say to someone considering implementing Hellohire?
Hey, any sort of thing that you think would be a concern, anything that you're like, oh, you know what, I don't see myself really using that feature. I don't think I'm gonna need that. I don't think I need this. I would encourage you to at least give it a try. I think that's the most important thing, because the trial that we did, I think that opened my eyes to, oh, you know what, maybe I did need this feature. Maybe I did need automatic rejection emails. Maybe I did need to not have to read through every resume myself. I think giving it a try is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself, saving yourself time, but also just, if you never try it, you can't really knock it, right?
Sure. Two more questions around sort of the recommendation. So for home care agencies that are struggling with hiring challenges and feeling the pain of, or the struggles of recruitment, what would you tell them about using Hellohire? Like, how does Hellohire relate back to that?
I would say in healthcare, there's so many applicants, so many people in the industry that are constantly applying. You can't annually get them to them all. You really can't. Having a way for each candidate to be engaged right away saves them from looking somewhere else, right? Because to me, if I, just applied to a job and I already have a pre-screen or an interview scheduled with the company for the next day or 2 days later, I'm not going to be looking I'm not going to be so hard for other positions, because I already have my foot kind of in the door already. I'm already going to be speaking to someone that works there that is looking to hire me. So I think that's kind of something to consider. It's something to consider that you won't be able to respond to everyone immediately, but having a program do that for you kind of engages them right off the bat, and they won't be looking for something else right away.
Thank you. And what advice would you give someone like yourself who's considering Hellohire as a recruiting solution? What's the advice you would give, Miruna, the pre-Hellohire Miruna? What's the advice you would give that person?
See, I could have just told myself, just try it. Like I said before, just try it. Really, every little thing that you're like, oh well, really, that doesn't seem like it'll save me time. You don't know until you try. And I think using the platform intended way and your current hiring methods, you need to find a mixture of that. right? You need to look at your hiring methods and say, okay, maybe this really isn't that time saving. Maybe I need to like rely on Hellohire or whatever other form a little bit better, a little bit more, and just kind of try to find a new strategy. And that was really important to me. I think the first month I was like, I need to sit down and kind of redo this whole process, because you just add something and you don't redo everything that you were already doing, it's hard to kind of make sure that it's streamlined. So just streamlining your process is perfect. It's what you need to do.
And one thing we missed or we didn't talk about was data. Um, do you have any data to share from pre Hellohire to post Hellohire and sort of metrics in that sense?
Definitely not. We're not very big on that. Again, because we're such a small company, it's not like, you need to share reports on a daily basis. You just see the person across the hall and you're like, oh, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but this is happening. So we're
Right,
just not really big on tracking that. I think at the end of the
right,
year, we do track it, like
right.
to see overall how it would happen and if there was a spike in anything. On a monthly basis, we don't really track that. I would say it's more so how I feel and how I know things are going. And I'll put it this way: there's more files on my desk of hired candidates than there were before.
That's amazing. And how does it make you feel? Like how you mentioned feeling. How do you feel now compared to how you felt before? Is there some, can you, like, is there awareness
I
on that?
think this is gonna sound a little funny, but Fridays I can, go into the weekend and not like have the impending doom of, oh, Monday I'm gonna have like 300 resumes to go through. That's pretty much the best way to put it. I'm not gonna have to do that manual labor on the Monday. So like on my weekends, I'm just doing what I need to do. I'm relaxing. I don't have the thought of, oh, so many emails coming through of applicants. I'm gonna have to go through that later.
Amazing. Miruna, thank you for sharing your experience and your thoughts on Hellohire. We really appreciate having you as a customer and collaborating with you to keep innovating for home care. So thank you very much.
Pleasure.